What's going on, Assassins? It's Dark Strider, and you know what? I've got a very serious few questions, and this is a think piece, all right, people? It's not that I want to start a fight, an argument, or anything like that. I want everyone's honest opinion because, as you know, Assassin's Creed Shadows, it's getting wild, everything that's going on with it. So I want to know, and again, I'm going to reiterate where I stand. I feel, number one, you either play the game or you don't. It doesn't matter to me. I'm not going to shame you either way, regardless of how I feel. And I'm feeling a lot of different emotions when it comes to this game. You know, it doesn't absorb my life or anything like that. You know, it's not something that like I go to bed thinking about and I wake up thinking about. It's just there are a lot of great arguments on both sides, in both camps, when it comes to Assassin's Creed Shadows. And what I want to convey to you guys is that, again, I am not going to condemn you either way, whether you're for or against this game. Number two, I want to say that even though the petition is gaining a lot of steam, and I just did a video on that, a lot of steam, still, I don't think it's going to be enough to move the needle, honestly. I really don't. Not that, you know, it doesn't deserve to move the needle. I feel like it's not going to be enough. Ubisoft is making insane money. They're still going to release this game, regardless. Okay? Besides all that, what I want to ask is, do you think that this controversy that is surrounding Assassin's Creed Shadows, do you think that this is going to change gaming? And is it going to change it for better or worse? I mean, let's review this, okay? So, the game, some people think it's just a game. Some people think that it's kind of silly that people are getting super offended about it. Other people think it's not just that it's a game, it's that it's a message, an agenda being spread with this game. Okay? Again, I'm not trying to start fights, but this is what's going on. So that's why the petition came out. The petition came out because enough Japanese people felt that it was cultural appropriation, not really appropriation, but revisionist history is the actual term. And enough people feel that this is not how they grew up, this is not their lifestyle, they don't understand it, they don't understand what's going on. And I could see their point. I could see why they feel that way. However, not having the game in my hands and not seeing what's going on, you know, we may all be freaking out, and then all of a sudden you play the game and maybe whoever dove into the Animus is like, you know, that's not the actual events. The Templars actually set us up. They made this look like, you know, this is what history was and blah, blah, blah. We don't know. And I'm not defending Ubisoft, obviously. I'm just saying we don't know the story. Let's see what happens. But will this change gaming? And why I'm asking that question is, do you think that after this whole debacle, after all this controversy, that there will, number one, be no more historical games, any games dealing with any point in history? It'll just be pure fantasy, like Final Fantasy or Phantasy Star. Things like that, where it's absolutely made up from the top to the bottom. There is no, you know, sci-fi element. Well, there will be sci-fi elements, but it's nothing to do with any history from any culture, from anything. That's number one that I'm asking. Number two, in all that, do you think that if they do actually make historical games or games that deal with history, that they will do the absolute massive amount of research necessary and cite sources? Because it's all about cover your ass. It's CYA. You have to cite sources. All of you who are in college, who are at university, you know what I'm talking about. you write a paper, you have to cite sources. In fact, they're even doing stuff where if you use AI, it will let them know, your professors know that it's AI. There are programs for that. So will they have to like actually do this like a report? Will they have to cite sources? Will they have to cite all kinds of information? And does that make gaming better or worse? Does that mean that a game that should come out in a year or two, now every game that we ever play is going to have the development cycle of a Grand Theft Auto game where it's 6 years plus? A Bethesda game where you're waiting 10 years for Starfield and it's basically just a reskinned Elder Scrolls or something. You know, like, where are we going in gaming? Now, I'm not complaining, is my thing. I'm not saying that, you know, I don't want them to do research, that I just want them to feed me crap. That's not what I'm saying. You know? What I'm saying is, will this change gaming to the effect where games are better, they're more researched, they're more polished? Or do you think that they're going to spend too much time on the research and not enough on the polish? So we're going to start getting games that don't, and this is an extreme example. I don't think this is ever going to happen. But imagine that we have a 16-bit game, but it's historically accurate. I think that game was Mario Was Missing for the Super Nintendo. But I digress. Will it be something like that? And in fact, no, I don't digress, because honestly, where in the world was Carmen Sandiego? Where in time is Carmen Sandiego? You actually had to solve clues to find out where this character was. It's very educational. A lot of schools had it. I don't know if schools have it anymore, but it was a big thing back in the day. I'm showing my age. Regardless, I'm saying, is this going to change gaming, and will it change gaming for the better or the worse? What are your thoughts? Do you think that gaming should actually have great research if they're doing something historical, and they should cite their sources? Do you think that, you know, games like Assassin's Creed, they get a pass? It's science fiction. It's historical fiction. How many times have we watched a movie and whatever happened in the movie never happened? You know, we look at stuff. There was a movie that absolutely sucked, and the name escapes me. It had Paul Walker. It was one of the first movies he ever did before Fast and Furious, where his father was a scientist, somehow went back in time, and he had to go back in time in order to find him. And they went through like historical England and stuff like that. And all that stuff was wrong. You know? I mean, Netflix right now, they're doing, I call it Ancient England. Lady Strider calls it Bridgerton, I think. Bridgerton? Yeah, Bridgerton. That's what it's called. I call it Ancient England because it's like, you know, old school. But they have, it's a great cast. They're very good. I've seen like 1 or 2 episodes. But obviously, I mean, the Queen wasn't black. You know, black people weren't high society back then, you know. But they altered it, you know, just because they wanted to make a show based on a book. And it's a lot of fun. A lot of ladies are enjoying it. If you have a girlfriend, ask her. If you don't have a girlfriend, ask your mom or your sister. They might watch it. Ask. You know, it's one of those things. I mean, obviously, a show like that, there obviously weren't people of color that, you know, were in high society in England at that time. They were slaves and whatnot. So, I mean, is it okay to bend the rules if you know it's fantasy? If you know that it's not real? Is it not okay to bend the rules? Where do we bend the rules, and how far do we bend them? And how do we do this in gaming? How do we do this on television? How do we do this in movies? I'd love to hear your thoughts, and I'd love to hear whether or not you think this is going to change gaming forever. honestly, like I said, I don't think it's going to move the needle where people are actually going to cancel this game. But I do think it brings a lot of attention. It is a fixed point in gaming history right now where people are going to be talking about this in the future. Just like people talk about arcades when they first came out, the gaming crash of the 80s. E.T. probably caused the gaming crash. E.T. the video game, not the movie. You know, how Nintendo saved the gaming community when it came out. How console wars started. This is going to be one of those fixed points. Anyway, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. And, you know, by all means, feel free to let it rip. Let me know what's going on. Other than that, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please make sure you like and subscribe. It helps this channel out an awful lot. As always, I want to thank each and every one of you for watching. And until next time, take care, be good, stay safe, take care of each other. I'll see you guys all in the next one.
Yeah, yee!